Tim's Good Deed, a dog story by Donald Bain Hobart. Tim March found it was very cold to be standing on the street corner selling newspapers, but he was very anxious to earn all the money he could. His mother was a widow who had not been well, and the boy didn't like the thought of her having to go to work in this cold winter weather. But Mrs. March never complained. It was Tim's ambition to make a lot of money so that his mother would not have to work, at least not during the winter. "Look at that," said Tim suddenly. A little wire-haired terrier had suddenly dashed out of a butcher shop with some meat in his mouth. The butcher came running out shouting at the dog. The terrier saw the boy and ran to him and placed the meat on the sidewalk at his feet. "So that's it," said the butcher as he came running up, and then stopped and stood glaring at the boy. "You sent your dog into my shop to steal meat and bring it to you." "He isn't my dog," said Tim, "and I didn't send him into your store." He looked at the dog, who appeared half-starved and was trembling with the cold. "Besides, I don't see why you mind the dog having a little meat. He looks hungry." "That meat is worth 40 cents, said the butcher, "and somebody has to pay me for it." "It isn't my dog," repeated Tim, "so I'm not going to pay you." "All right," said the butcher, "then I'll turn the dog over to the dog catcher. He'll have him destroyed." The dog whined as though he understood what the man had said, and looked pleadingly up at the boy. Tim felt very sorry for the poor animal. He didn't want him to be turned over to the dog catcher. He reached into his pocket and pulled out some coins and looked at them. "I've only got 30 cents, he said, "but I'll pay you that for the meat if you will let me keep the dog." "Never mind," said the butcher, who had calmed down and was feeling ashamed of himself. "I won't take the money, and you can have the meat and the dog, too. What's your name and where do you live?" Tim told him, and the man just nodded and went back into his shop. The boy decided that it didn't look like there was much chance of his being able to sell any papers there on the street corner, as it had begun snowing hard. He picked up the meat and started home with the dog following him. His mother was home, and she loved dogs as much as Tim did, so they fed the terrier, and Tim gave him a bath, and when he got through, the dog looked quite handsome and intelligent. "He's a nice dog," said Mrs. March. "We'll keep him until somebody claims him, Tim." "I hope that no one ever does," said Tim. But that night the doorbell of their apartment rang, and when the boy went to the door, there was a well-dressed, gray-haired man standing there. He smiled when he saw the dog and called him Jack. The dog was jumping excitedly, and Tim realized that the man must be his master. "The butcher told me your name and address," said the man. "I am Henry Lake. My little girl has been ill ever since Jack disappeared. The dog is her pet. I advertised for him in the papers and offered a reward. You get it, of course." The man gave Tim and his mother $50 reward for having kept the dog, as Jack was a prize winner and very valuable. Tim was sorry to lose Jack, but very happy to return the dog to its rightful owner, and the money meant that his dream of helping his mother had come true.